Hey everyone, this is Vishak here, and welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about how do you achieve a superhuman body and how can you be the most active and cheerful person in the room. So, um, as I have mentioned in the previous videos and previous episodes that Indian diet has, see, first of all, Indian physique, as in the Indian genetics, the genetics that we have and hold is not very potent, as in if you, while compared to people who are from Canada or Greece or Australia, like they are gigantic, not just about the size but also they have the strength and they have the endurance and they have a lot of immunity and all that. But on the contrary, if you just take a look at how Indian physique or genetics are, it's usually on the weaker side. Okay, we do not have the broad shoulders, we have very broad waist or hips, and then we have very thin legs. And well, that's how it is, because right from the age, like even if you take like 100 200 years ago, we were pretty much on the survival mode and not on the, we didn't luxuriate on the food and the things. We were always on the have nots. We were always on the have nots side. Okay, so due to which this has genetically reprogrammed us physically, like into the weaker side. Okay, however, we've got pretty good amount of brains, but you know uh it is not, it's really like, how do I say, it's really to see this on the weaker side, and we have this inferiority complex or lack of confidence, especially when we face people who are with a bigger physique or a better and fitter body. Okay, so it's not just about the appearance that we are talking about, but also in terms of performance. So if I can ask you, can you do a squat, like, the squat is the squats, like sitting down completely and getting up? Can you do that for like 100 or 150 without stopping? The answer will be obvious, right? And if I ask you, can you climb the stairs, let's say for, I don't know, like 100 stairs, can you climb without stopping and without gasping for breath? The obvious answer is no. So why is this causing? So already our genetics are weak and our body is not that great when it comes to performance physically and mentally. And on top of that, our food is heavily imbalanced. Like, it doesn't have the right proportion. All we do is like fill the stomach and not eating for nutrients. We do not eat for nutrients. What we eat is for filling the stomach. Okay, and there's a funny saying in India, in our place, in our country, that the bigger the belly you have, the prosperous you are. Big belly is a sign of prosperity or some shit like that, right? So it's not a sign of prosperity, it's a sign of diabetes and cholesterol and obesity. So this is like, it's a very important and crucial factor, because it is directly affecting your life. Okay, you can never see a person who's fat or who's weak is fast in his life. Like, that's a very rare scenario. Okay, so for you to be fast in your life, you've got to have a body that's fast, that's active. Okay, so how can you achieve that level of body, like away from, how can you get away from that mediocre self, and how can you be a best and high performer? So I want you to rate yourself in these questions, like with the questions that I'm going to ask you. I want you to rate yourself, like what is the rating that you give on a scale of 1 to 10, okay, for each and every question. Now the only thing is, like, in these questions, the answer that you are going to give is from your perspective. Okay, so imagine this one. I have a goal, right? Let's say that I want to be a football player. Okay, I'm just saying, like, this is a hypothesis. So I want to be a football player. Now I'm just thinking, like, I'm not even started practicing, or I don't even know what football is, right? And now I'm just saying I want to be a world class football player. I want to be in the world club. Okay. Now I'm just saying, okay, now these questions are like, okay, do you train twice? Do you do this? Do you do that? And I will give questions. I will give the answers to these questions, and those answers will be from my perspective. But are those answers, or like, are those are like, even if I perform to 10, is this enough to be at a world class performer? The answer is no. Are you getting the point? So whatever the number that you're choosing, whatever the score that you're giving for yourself, is only from your perspective. But to be a high performer, you need to add like two or three to that to be a high performer. Are you I hope you get the point. Okay, so let's dive right in. How do you rate yourself in your body shape? How do you rate yourself in your body shape? Now, don't just put a number in your mind. I want you to write this question down and then put a number to it. Okay, where one is worst and 10 is the best. All right, pause the video, go grab your pens and papers, and then write down. So how do you rate yourself in your body shape? Okay, I hope you've given a number. Number two is, how do you rate yourself when it comes to your overall health? Overall, as in the physical health and mental health, like overall. Do you have any problems? You have any issues? You have medical complications? Have you done any test? If they have given you any kind of indications or anything like that, right? So just give an overall score on your health. Yeah. Now, the third one is, how do you rate yourself when it comes to your physical energy? Okay, so physical energy is, it's very much important for you to perform and operate life. Okay, you need that, like physical energy. By the time, okay, you wake up at 7 o'clock, and by the time it's 12 and you're tired, or by the time it's 2 o'clock and you feel like you want to take a nap, then we have some work to do. We've got some problems to correct. Okay, yeah. So how do you rate yourself when it comes to the physical energy? Now, how do you rate your mental energy? Right from the time that you woke up, how do you feel, like basically how do you feel? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your life? How do you feel about things, when it comes to decision, when it comes to talking to people, when it comes to taking any action? Do you have enough energy, or you feel like, what, I'll do this later? See, procrastination is a part of the mental energy, mental health. Okay, if you're a person who's constantly procrastinating, then it's a sign of mental health. Okay, anxiety, depression, fear, procrastination, guilt, regret, all these are affecting your mental health. All right, and in turn it'll affect your mental energy. So how do you rate your mental energy, like on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is the worst and 10 is the best? Okay, now you've got some scores, right? Now your everyday life will slow down if you're below 8 in pretty much all of it. Okay, so how can 8 is like a benchmark? 8 is like a benchmark, and of course, as a thumb rule, you're not allowed to give like 7 in any of it. 7 is like I mentioned, 7 is like a optimistic number. I mean, not optimistic, but it's how do I say this? It's a safe number. It's a diplomatic number, just to be safe. Like 6 is too low, 8 is too high, so let me just stay with 7. So you don't want to give 7 to any of it. Okay, so just give whatever the score, and your everyday life will slow down if you are below 8 in any of it. And how can you rectify that? That's the whole point, or that's the whole question. So what I have seen, like even when I was working in the corporate, with my colleagues, or with my management, or with my clients. So before, like right now, I'm a mental toughness coach, but before this, I was into fitness, and I was a fitness model, and I was into that. So all of my clients who come in, and like there are common issues and patterns that I always see, like I keep seeing it. Okay, and it's not a matter of I'm not interested in fitness, I'm not interested in, it's not really about the body, and it's not really about that. It's about what is the quality of your life. And having a healthy body, and having a great mental health is like, it's going to add points to the quality of your life. Okay, and common issues that I have seen in people who are working, like working professionals, like uh, information technology, or bank, or anybody who is like in front of the laptop for like more than 8 to 10 hours a day. Okay, um, you don't have a sharp brain. That means your decisions are mostly emotional. You're not thinking, you're not able to think. Your brain is like fatigued. Okay, it is clouding your it is clouding, like you cannot see the actual situation, and you just decide something, and after 1 month or 2 months you feel like, oh my god, that was the wrong decision, right? Like anything, it could be like you want to quit your job and you want to start something new, or you want to change your job, or even you want to look for your kids admission, and because of you're not in the right mindset or a mental state, and you just put him or her in a school, and that happens to be like a bad school, things like that. I'm just giving an example, but there could be lot of impact that can happen if you are in a bad mental state. So brain fatigue is a very common issue, like there's no mental clarity, always down on energy and all that. Okay, second one is low sex drive. So like this is okay if you're above 65, okay, or above 65, above 70, it's fine. It's okay to have low sex drive because the testosterone is going down, libido is going down, and it's okay. But in your 30s, or in your 40s, these things like it should skyrocket. Okay, I'm not asking you to be always like walking around with sex drive, but it should not go down. Okay, we should be able to produce. We should be able to produce. That doesn't mean that you have to keep producing, but you get the point, right? So low sex drive can cause because of like constant stress. It could be like stress in itself, or chronic stress. It could be because of anxiety, or it could be because of living in fear, fight or flight mode, all of these, and vitamin deficiency like D deficiency, and low fat, high cholesterol, like bad cholesterol. I'm talking about bad cholesterol, right? Bad cholesterol is nothing but the LDL, low density lipoprotein, the things that you get from the regular sunflower oil that you buy from the supermarket that you use for cooking, or refined flour, that's maida. All of these, like soft drinks, etc., will definitely hamper your libido. Okay, so if you're having low sex drive, then that is something that you will need to work on. And low metabolism is like you're not burning enough energy. You're not burning enough energy, like most of the time, since our lifestyle is all like it's all about sitting and not really moving much. The metabolism will automatically come down, and this will have impact on other areas of your life. Okay, and you'll start seeing tiny wrinkles in your 30s. You should not see tiny wrinkles, like you should not, like there's nothing wrong with that, but this will start hitting you mentally, it'll start hitting you psychologically, and it'll definitely take a toll on your self confidence. Okay, and Lataji, like I mentioned, by the afternoon, like I remember, okay, so when I used to work in the corporate, I usually, like most of the time, I usually log in by 5 o'clock in the morning. All right, 5 o'clock I log in, and 2 o'clock I'll be out. Sometimes if I have an overtime or anything, I'll stay for another hour or something, and then I get out. So like when I log in, I say hi to people, everybody are like drowned, right? They're like they barely have energy to, you know they barely have energy to even just say hi. And the reason is like I'm waking up early, I did not sleep last night, or the usual stories. And and even when I'm saying bye in the evening, while logging out, when I say bye, it's the same tone, right? Bye, and that's it. Like they just, it's not, they're not very active. And now the reason, so morning, that was the reason, and in the evening, I mean, when they're saying bye, the reason is like, oh, I was working the whole day, I'm tired now. I'm like, you did not move mountains, right? You did not move mountains. You just stood there and you were working with your fingers, and that's it. So you should potentially be like, you should be in good energy, but you're not. So there is something fundamentally wrong, right? That's lethargy. If you're not able to keep up with your friends, if you're not able to, you know like even in the speed, like when they are walking, and if you're walking behind, there's a problem. All right, so you don't want to be that. You want to be like fast, and you are decreasing in focus. You're not able to focus on one thing. You're just not able to focus on one thing. That could be ADD or ADHD, like attention deficit disorder, or attention deficit hyper active disorder. Okay, it could be anything. I mean, it could be either of this. All right, decrease in focus. So there's like a steady decrease in focus in these individuals, like common, uh, common. working professional. All right. And the problem is not just about how the brain functions, but also what you eat, what you have just eaten. And that is like requiring a lot of energy to even digest it. There's surplus, there's no surplus in your body, so it's all going down just to digest the food. And making your brain function more, or focus, or creativity, or all of this requires energy. But the energy is going down just to digest the food. You see what I'm saying? So that's why there's a decrease in focus and creativity. And last is less bone density, or reduced bone density. Now the thing is, it's pretty common and usual for the bones density to reduce, especially when you're in 40s. But during your 30s, I don't think so. You should be a high performer even in your 30s. And there is no question about it. But the lifestyle, this one thing that is like lifestyle, and that's leading people to have less or low strength in the overall body, and bones are taking a big hit on that. And that's why the osteoporosis is coming up. It's on the rise. Okay. And that's a serious issue. Osteoporosis is the less bone density, and that's a medical term. So these are pretty much the common issues of the working professionals who are sitting more than 8 to 10 hours a day, and then you commute for 1 to 2 hours a day. That's again sitting. So you see how your thing is taking a toll, right? So this was me back in the days when I started off. Like, I was fat, and my doctor told me I was 96 kgs. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. All right. I had depression. My life was not going anywhere. My life was not really going anywhere at all. And that was scary. It was really scary. I'm like, oh my God. Like, like every time when I wake up, I used to wake up with so much of anxiety, like so much of anxiety. And once I start taking life in control, my health in control, my time in control, and it starts getting better. It will get better, provided you do the right things and you just do it, like you take action. Okay. So this was after like whatever the time it is. But what I'm trying to say is, this was the first one was when I was 24, and the second one was when I was 34. And I'll tell you, I never had this level of energy back in the days. I never had this level of confidence back in the days. Idealistically, I should have like good energy when I'm in my 24, right? I never had it. But I have way much more energy, and way more mental clarity, and my stamina is good. And like, I wake up at 4 o'clock, and there's nothing that's going to stop me from achieving what I want to achieve. So all I'm saying is, you have to take good care of your body, and when you start making the transformation from within, things will start happening. Things will start happening. You will see that your life is going in that flow that you always wanted, not just going with some flow. Okay. So if you want to be the most active and the cheerful individual in the room, you start doing these things. And these are like some of the powerful things that you can start implementing immediately. All right. It's like this alone could like change your life, like, for real. Okay. And start taking notes on this and start implementing on this. The first one is get your blood work done. So when I say get your blood work done, I want you to just get a master health checkup, especially on the vitamin B12, vitamin D, D for delta D, uh, and check your testosterone levels. These are the basic things. And most probably and possibly your vitamin B12 and D will be less. Okay. So just get your blood work done, just to see what where do you stand. Okay. And the second one is take protein in every meal. Like in every meal, like if you're eating once a day, twice a day, thrice a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day, doesn't matter. But whenever you are eating, whatever you're eating, just make sure that you add protein in your diet. Like you got eggs, chicken, beef, or I don't know, lentils, beans, and lot of, like just make sure that you take protein in every meal. The third one is stop watching porn and masturbation. Like this is huge. um like you're literally wasting away the life force that can potentially be channeled and directed to something, you know something that you can create, like something monumental. But instead it's just your time is just slipping away for nothing. It's just, I don't know, I can't even comprehend the thought of these silly weak behavior. It just literally makes you weak. It makes you like really weak. Okay, and it's not I'll tell you when are these things gonna hit you back. Okay, when you find yourself in front of a high achiever. Okay, at some point when you find yourself in a party or in places, and there are high achievers, and I'll tell you the things, the words that is going on in your mind, the regrets and guilt that's going on in your mind is so heavy. It's not just about your porn and masturbation. It's just, I'm talking about your entire weak behavior. People who have strong behaviors achieve big, and they have like strong confidence. But people who have weak behavior, even like emotional eating is a weak behavior, right? Emotional eating is a weak behavior, and a person gets fat, and obviously he will not have confidence in front of the person who's got stronger habits when it comes to eating, or a person who is fit. So obviously he will not have the confidence in front of a person who's fit. Are you getting it? So stop your weak behaviors. It makes you less of a man. The fourth one is get to bed early. If you're in your 30s, you should go to bed on a decent time, like on a decent time. Don't, sit with Netflix and Instagram and watching like YouTube. And I mean, you can do that, but there's nothing wrong with that. But the only thing is like it's just taking away time, and your sleep is going to be hindered. And the next day productivity is going to be like hampered heavily because last night you didn't have a good sleep because you were on your gadget. Okay, so go to bed on a decent time. And if you just go to my Instagram over there, I have put a couple of posts saying how do you get the best sleep, like how to set your evening and night time so that you can get the best sleep. Okay, yeah. And the next one is get your vitamin B12 and D. Like this word I have mentioned when I was talking about the blood work, but get a vitamin B12 and vitamin D. Well, D seems to be like it's a common issue that people go down with vitamin D and vitamin B12. So for you just to start off, you can have like, you can have like a good amount of sun, 15 to 20 minutes, like concentrated period. You're not moving, you're just staying there wherever you are, and you're just getting a lot of sun, especially on your back. Try to be shirtless if you can, get a lot of sun, and this will help you with your overall wellness, like general wellness. All right, the next one is get in cardio, get in some cardio, do some walking, do some running, do some sort of activity, the stair climbing. These are good for your cardiovascular, and also it helps you with your stamina. Like it really helps you with your stamina. Just imagine, I mean, it's not just about your thing, but it's not just about your stamina, but also it's good for your heart. So think of it like this. Okay, so the more you do the cardio, the better stamina you have. Okay, and it's like if you're running low on your energy, like on any day basis or everyday basis, then this will be able to help you manage your stamina and energy better. Okay, so get your cardio done. And this is really hard when it comes to people who are like over 30. It's really hard because cardio is boring, the cardio workout is boring, but it's necessary. Think of it like a necessary evil. All right, so just try to do it at least 3 to 4 times a week. Just normal walking, 30 to 40 minutes. It's great, it's great. But you will, it's insane if you see the benefits. Like it's insane. You will have it, you can't even comprehend the benefits while compared to just spending about 30 to 40 minutes per day. Okay, the benefits are huge. And include fatty fish or almonds or avocados. So if you're a vegetarian, then you can go for just almonds or and avocados. Avocados is the butterfruit. Or if you are a meat eater, then you can go for the fatty fish. Fatty, what we are trying to establish over here is omega 3 and very little bit of omega 6, but omega 3 is like a primary focus. That's a good fat. So we spoke about LDL, right? LDL is the low density lipoprotein. That's a bad cholesterol. So for you to take off the bad cholesterol from your body, see, it doesn't matter if you're fat or if you're skinny. Even if you're skinny, you could have the bad cholesterol in your body. Okay, that is essentially bad for your heart. So for you to have good fat, like for you to take off the bad fat, you need to educate your body by putting in new fat, and that's good fat. And that is coming from the fatty fish, almonds, avocados, walnuts, and like omega 3 tablet supplements and whatnot. Okay, so these are the basics that you can start implementing like immediately, but get your work done, blood work done today, tomorrow, whenever you can, and start with the other procedures. And you will see within a few months how fast your life is changing. Okay, so that's how important this is. And once the smart ones will always pay attention, will do the work, and the others will not. So like I said, if you have come this far, that means you are serious about your life and you're serious about whatever you want to do. Well, if you're not, that's fine too. Okay, so that's pretty much. Thank you, everyone. Take care. And I really mean that. Take good care. And I will see you when I see you. Bye bye.